You're listening to the Preacher's Hour podcast,
a podcast that dives into culture and society from a young preacher's perspective.
I'm Jeffrey Copeland. I teach middle school history. I'm married to my wife, Selena, and I'm a student of the Bible.
And I'm Brandon Jackson. I'm married to my wife, Jess. We have 3 beautiful daughters, and I love to share the gospel with teenagers and help disciple them in their walk.
We sit down each week and have conversations about what we've learned,
what we're learning,
and what we think about current events happening around us.
Enjoy.
Welcome to episode 2 of season 3 of the Preacher's Hour podcast.
Hey, let's go.
Yeah, man. My name is Jeffrey Copeland.
And I am Brandon Jackson.
We are your hosts.
Yeah.
We have updated our logo on almost everything. I just realized there was something I needed to ask you to send me, but I forgot what it was. I'll figure it out during the break.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I've updated our logo. We got new logos. Josiah's like designed.
Got a new intro.
Yeah, my wife designed the logo, and then Josiah put his little magic on that thing. So we have 2 different logos.
Man.
We got black and gold and white and gold. So you'll see those things sprinkled throughout all of our different places.
And the thumbnail. Like, I can you just take a second and just appreciate Josiah for what he does. I had a vision in my mind of what I wanted the thumbnail to look like. And I know I didn't explain it well at all.
I know you didn't.
I was like, you get that? He was like, yeah, I got it.
Sure.
But he took that thing and, if you clicked on this video, you saw it. So shout out to my brother Josiah, our brother, for doing an amazing job and using the gift that he was called or gifted to do. So
Speaking of gifts,
hey,
nice little segue. Brandon has returned from
the promised land.
The Discovery Center by Excel Leadership Network.
Yeah,
they are a fantastic organization. Pastor Carl is a big part of them, and they do these things called church planters discovery centers all throughout the world. They do them in different countries. And Brandon and his wife and a couple of other friends got back from one in San Diego.
Yeah, we did.
Beautiful San Diego. Yeah. We did ours in the lovely 100-degree Elk Grove, California.
Oh, dang.
You got to do yours in San Diego.
Hey, it was cold.
A little jealous.
It was cold. It was extremely nice. Like, except for like they have like really high COVID numbers in San Diego. So, and they're actually shutting down today. Today was today's their last day of freedom. So then they'll be that's the whole thing of shutting down.
Goodness.
Then today's like what, the 11th?
No, today's 12th? The 15th because the 11th was Veterans Day.
Yeah, so the 11th is when they got a 3-day
warning.
The warning.
Get some food
because it's been
about to be inside.
Man, you remember that,
dude? I was freaking out about that. I was like, "Mom, we gotta get to the store. You gotta get your supply." I was calling everybody, saying, "Hey, go now. We going on lockdown. You ain't better open the window, okay? Get some stuff." And it wasn't even that bad.
It wasn't.
Like, so
you realize real quick that hoarding is dumb. Like even if it got to the worst of the worst, eventually you're going to run out of food. If that's the case, it's inevitable.
Yeah, man. So
for all of our listeners out there, be kind. If you get locked back down, be kind. Be
wherever
generous.
you might be listening or watching this from. Yeah, man. Just know that God is on the throne, bro.
Yeah.
So
he's a God of generosity.
Yeah, man. So Brandon got back from the Discovery Center. And we have been talking about it. I got all my results and I got mine stuff. Too. Brandon has his, and so we were just gonna spend today's episode just talking about the experience. Yeah. I don't want to give too much away for somebody who might be listening to this and might go on their own, because I really want people to be open and to the experience. Okay. But I do want to talk about our personal experiences and the purpose of it and the value of the Discovery Center, things like the Discovery Center.
For sure.
If that makes sense. I literally just thought about this right now.
No, that makes total sense because I'm really grateful that when you went, you didn't give me a whole bunch of information on what was to come. And it was really weird that Jessica and the other couple that went with us, we're asking a gang of acquaintances, like, what did Jeff tell you? What did Jeff tell you? And I'm like, he didn't tell me nothing. Like, no, he had to tell you something. That Jeff is your best friend. I was like, yeah.
Because I'm your best friend, I didn't tell you anything. Plausible deniability.
Yeah, I was like, I have zero information other than like, there's going to be counseling. There's going to be, times when it gets really deep. There's going to be something where we do to see how different we are or how similar we are. But other than that, I don't have any, like zero, like, what comes first, what comes second. And then we got to do something that you guys didn't get to do, which was like the mock trial.
I would have got a red light if they made us do that.
That was the hardest thing ever. So yeah, I want to, I guess, so what do you want to do? Like just talk about our results, talk about our strengths and weaknesses, or?
Man, let's start with our individual like results. So just to give you guys some background. So before you go to this one of these discovery centers, they have you do 3 different like personality test type things. There's this thing called the DISC, there's the golden, and there's the strength finders. Most people are familiar with strength finders. I remember I had to do it years ago in college for something. I don't remember what my results were, but they say you should probably take it no more than like there should be like at least like 5 or 6 years apart from your taking it, because like it basically you change in that amount of time enough to need new results. That basically. So yeah, like what did you discover about yourself, personality wise?
Oh man, so one of the best things when we took the strength finders one. This is probably the one that was the most tangible to me. Disc seems really confusing, and golden seemed even more confusing.
It's ITZ.
I was like, I don't know what these stand for. And like, if you're an organizer, it's a Z, not an O.
Yeah, that was weird too.
It's like, okay.
I got that too.
So I'm gonna just deal with strength finders. I can get a little bit on the disc.
Yeah, we'll do disc a little after.
Yeah,
but let's focus on that.
So the strength finder for me is my top 5 strengths are adaptability, includer, and I'll talk about what these are in a second. Includer, communication, developer, and positivity. And so adaptability was like my highest strength, which was really, really cool.
That makes so much sense. You're one of the most adaptable people I've ever met in my entire life. We'll be all right. We'll figure it out. That's Brandon like all day.
So it's crazy because you can be adaptable and like not be strong in positivity. So you can be something where like I can adapt, but like it's really difficult to like be happy adapting.
That's good.
So like to have both of those is like, they were like, that's a huge plus. Like you need to like thank God that you got both.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang, what does I say?
God's like, I didn't. Make sure we get to this positivity too, bro. Yo.
So adaptability is just that. Like I have the ability to get along with a range of different people who probably won't share anything that I have, that they don't have the same background or experiences or whatever, but I can still get along with them well. And then also I'm cool with change.
Yeah.
I'm extremely cool with things changing, and I prefer last minute plans rather than planning them out and then doing them.
We are so opposite, bro. That is great.
So that was my biggest one. And I don't know if I'm getting this right now, but it's my biggest one, and it's like the one that I like really love, but it's also like my greatest downfall because I don't have any organizational skills.
Wow.
So everything I do, I'm always adapting, which is why I was late today to the podcast because I don't. Oh man, Josiah should do the disc.
He should do this. Yeah, these strength finders and just do the personality test.
Yeah, because it would be such a help. Like I'm so glad he's in my life because he helps me. He shows me what structure really is, and I want to get better at that. I want to be like Josiah when I grow up, even though he's like 10 years younger than me. But anyways, so adaptability is huge for me. I love it, but it's my weakness. And then includer, I want everybody to be able to participate. I want everybody to feel included, to just like feel like they're a part of the team. I feel really weird when people are excluded. It just makes me feel like, dang, like we missed it, or like something shady is going on to where someone is trying to single someone out or lead them out on purpose, which is really weird because my wife is an includer, but I think like in her including, it's like if we're in a big group, we want everybody in. But if it's our small group, it's like we're good. Pause.
Yeah,
we don't need anybody else in here. But so then that one we differed. I thought that was really interesting. And then communication. I just like to talk. Like this podcast is about me, so I get to go in. It's about Jeff too, guys. I'm not trying to say it's all about me. And then developer. I love small wins. I love to see like the progression, progress. Like to see it develop while it's happening. Some people are just
my wife is
you start like, something and I need to see the end result, the whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't care anything about in between.
Did we reach? She does not see progress at all. I'm like, babe, but you did this. That's nothing. That's nothing. I need to see that.
That's true. Because I remember when
very much result only.
Because we were telling her, oh, you've grown so much in a year, and she was like,
doesn't recognize. There's something I have to tell her, like, no, you used to do this, and she'd be like, I guess I could see that. But yeah,
she's gonna get to heaven like, see, Jeff, this is what I was talking about. Oh yeah. So that's me, developer, and then I already spoke about positivity. I'm optimistic. I try to see the best in everything.
Yeah, man.
I don't think that there's I don't think there's anything that can't be restored. Like not a person, not even an outcome, which is probably something that Donald Trump is feeling right now. Hey, I don't care what they said. We can change this.
We got this.
But for me, I'm like, I can see how many things can be restored. And I honestly hate throwing things away. I love to like, can we even
fix this? We can fix this. We could,
even if we can't fix it, can we repurpose it?
Yeah.
Okay, it's broken. It doesn't do its original function, but can we make it do something it wasn't really intended for?
Look at that. So, there's a sermon in there somewhere.
Oh, I know it is.
That's so cool. So before I get to mine, guys, like the point of what we're doing right now, even if it seems just like it's isolated to just us two, like God, the whole thing that I got from the Discovery Center, like the biggest takeaway I got from it was that God made people interdependent.
Yeah.
So like he intentionally designed us to not have everything so that we need other people.
Yes.
Like especially.
And you see that when you go through something
when you go through this and you see, and even you meet all these new people who are from different places, different experiences, and they have, you see their strengths, because everybody gets to see everybody's strengths. Everybody gets to see like everybody's personality. And then like we did do this one exercise where like we read like a case study or whatever of like some different churches that like failed. I don't know if you
was it the Don Johnson thing?
I think so.
Oh, that
was crazy.
Oh my God.
And so no spoilers here, but like the thing was that we got people who had different strengths, so we all like complemented each other with what each person lacked. Like somebody else could fill that in. And so like God has intentionally designed it. So I think it's really important if you're serving in any kind of ministry like situation, the people that you're serving with, like it's really helpful if everybody knows everybody's like strengths and areas of growth and personality types, and we don't. It keeps you from like expecting people to be like you or to handle things the way you
would handle them,
see them the way you see them, and it keeps you from getting frustrated. I think it prevents a lot of frustration and like conflict and things like that. When I recognize, no, Brandon's like this because this is how God made him. Yeah, and he's not trying to like be a jerk or whatever. Like Brandon, how come you're not freaking out about this? This is horrible. No, it's gonna be fine, man. It's gonna be fine. It's cool. Oh, he just doesn't care. No. He has adaptability as one of his strengths. So like, and positivity. So he's not going to get all worked up about stuff that like somebody, who has whatever trait, like where they're like really, they don't like spontaneity.
Right.
But just like one of mine was like, I like things. I think it's in my disc.
Which is really,
because I'm a correct. Though. Yeah. And the disc, I'm a green.
Oh,
I'm a C. So like,
why don't you help me in my life, Jeff?
Listen,
if you're a C, you don't help me in my life.
It's so funny because it's like, I'm careful. I'm like very precise and compliant. So I love rules. If you tell me we're going to break the rules, the rules are created for a reason for us to follow them, guys.
And I'm like, the rules are created to be bended.
Oh, I hate, like just watching people on TV get in trouble stresses me out. Oh my God. Like as a kid, I could never watch Kenan and Kel. Oh. Because I'm just... You're gonna get in trouble. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm just stressed the whole episode. I'm just like, this is not fun.
That's hilarious.
Like, he told you what to do. Follow the rule.
That is so funny.
And so, like, there's the things that I'm supposed to decrease are It says be spontaneous, avoid set up plans. Like,
yeah, see,
and I'm like, that's just freaks me out. Wait,
see
we don't have plans?
we are.
Hold on, yeah, that's why God has to get to do the podcast, bro. But yeah, you need to get to know the members of your body. If we are really a body, we have to know each other very well so that we can help each other grow, and then fill in the gaps. Like, I should not expect Brandon to get to like where I'm at as far as like, you need to just be like me and think that like you're not normal and I am. And so you need to grow, quote unquote, to be like me.
Yeah.
Which is like, that's not fair. He's never going to be there. It's like,
I shouldn't even have to be, you shouldn't expect me to grow to be more like you.
My wife is never going to be a lead pastor.
Oh, never.
Like that's not her personality. She's like, Sienna's not going to get up and preach, a sermon. Not that she can't, but like her personality just is not for that. Right. She'll talk to somebody one-on-one. My wife will do the same thing, but like we have to like not put wrong expectations on people. Yeah. And we have to let them be who God has made them. Yes, we need to grow. Yes, we need to progress and become more like Jesus. But in doing that, like Jesus, it's crazy. When I lose myself and I try to like give up my life to Jesus, I actually become the most me that he created me to be, which looks different than everybody else. It's so crazy. We all look like the same person. We end up looking totally different from each other, but it's still like fits. It's still beautiful. It's still part of the.
This is probably totally off topic.
Oh man, you always say that because then it's not.
It's normally it's not. But what do you if Jesus took the disc? Like, what would he get? Everything. I feel like he would get everything.
Break the machine. We don't know. This guy is literally every strength. Like,
I just thought about like they during the Discovery Center, one of the amazing people, which she was just as amazing as you said.
I told you, man. Shout out to Lori, bro.
Lori was amazing.
Lori is one of my favorite humans ever created.
She was oh man, she was awesome. But she had said that there's like a disc out there for every disciple, like based on what they see in the Bible. Wow. And like someone like basically took the test for them. And it was like, Peter was like a D. Peter was like a D and an I. Like that was like his.
That makes perfect sense.
And then you had like Matthew, who was most likely a C. Like he was a C, but he was also like a C and a a C and what's the last one? S. Yeah. So like he was like on the middle, but he was really good with like numbers and making sure things are correct. But he still had like some like tendencies that were like selfish and other things like that are more in the S section. So then they did every disciple, but she didn't mention they did Jesus, and I was like,
nah, bro, because you're kidding. And I was thinking about this the other day, like Jesus literally has every single spiritual gift, like every single manifestation of the Spirit. Because he has every single one. Some of you preachers, teachers, evangelists, ministers, enthusiasts, like encouragers. He literally has every spiritual gift.
That's crazy. Which is wild, because I think because he has everyone, we get to understand what our strengths are, and it's like, okay, God made me to be a part of this body in this strength. So if I want to be more like Jesus, I need to be more in this strength. I can't seek to make myself, like perfect across the board, because then you end up making it worse. Yes. Even when we're taking the personality test, they were like, be as honest as you can. Yes. Because if you like, and one thing that was difficult was that they would say, answer it as you are, not as you want to become. Yeah. So that was really like helpful. Really hard. Because it was like, but I don't really want, like, this is what I do, but I don't want to do. Be like this. And, so Lori was the one to help us out when we were doing an exercise that you like step to the left if you're this, step to the right if you're this. And she did both. She was like, okay, we're going to do this exercise, and we're going to do it to like where you really are. And then we're going to do it again and like where you want to be. And then it was crazy because then everybody like lines up, stays like on the line. I want to stay right next to Jesus. Yeah, man. So I think it's really helpful to know who you are, who God's created you to be, and what strengths you have and what weaknesses you have. Yes. And to know that as a group, as a body.
Yes, it's not just for me to know, but it's important that the members of my group, of my church, my gathering, they know my weaknesses as well.
Yes.
So then we know how to fill in each other's gaps.
And we know how to talk to each other. Yes. I think one thing that churches don't do well is communicate. Like, for us, like you have someone like Patient, who's very dominating. He's
got to be a red.
Oh, he's a red like
on the disc. Yeah,
my
he's
dude
very
is,
direct and assertive.
And he's an activator. I think he's an achiever. He's more of an achiever, not an activator. So
and he has what's that one? I forget what it's called, but it's like you have like presence or.
Yeah, so he would be a DI. So like he has the ability to like captivate a room and to like command them. So Jessica has that.
I think it's called command.
Yeah, it's command. Yeah.
No one in our entire Discovery Center had it.
No one in ours.
They were shocked.
No one had it in ours either. We had Sean was like the closest one, which I was like, Sean.
No, I believe it. And Sean he's physically imposing. He's huge. But then like he opens his mouth and you're just like, like you just want to listen to him. You're always dying on the podcast.
The funny thing was when you said his physical body was imposing, I was just like, is that rude? And then I laughed in my mind, and then it happened in the physical. So I was like, oh man, you can't say that on the podcast. But anyways, let's edit that out.
He's a big guy.
He is a big guy. But yeah, I thought it was strange. I'm like that. He's super nice. So it's not like when you look at like, I mean, I'm not trying to compare, but when I see Sean's commanding and I look at Patient's commanding, totally different. Like
definitely,
totally different.
Definitely, yeah, I would agree with that. So, for me, my top 5 strengths were connectedness, maximizer, harmony.
You're a maximizer?
Input and context. Yes. Dude, when I saw that, oh my gosh, like it gave me so much like freedom. And like, I was just like, that's why I'm like this. That was one of the biggest things. Also, another takeaway from the whole Discovery Center was just like, it's okay that I've been like this my whole life. I used to be like, man, something's wrong with me. Like, why am I like this?
Which is okay. Everybody.
Like, this is normal. Like God, this is a thing.
Yes.
Like being who I am, the way I am, is actually a thing. Like it's not like some anomaly or something. Like no, there are other people who are like me. Oh, okay, cool. I'm not alone. But yeah, man. So connectedness, which is one of my favorite ones. I'll read the little short.
Yeah, because I don't remember what that one.
So people who are especially talented in the connectedness theme have faith in the links between all things. They believe there are few coincidences and that almost everything happens for a reason. Every event happens for a reason. Which is like, yes, I am very much like, I've always been like that. Like, oh man. Sometimes to a fault.
I think
I'll be like, I'll get a flat tire. Like, oh, that's because I was cussing that lady out. That's because I was rude. That's because I sinned. That's why this is happening. Everything's connected.
I feel like you and Josiah would be really, really close in the disc. So as we were coming here today, we rode together, and he I don't know who had mentioned it, if it was me, if it was him, but we had talked about getting here. There are times in life when you have to like notice when God is doing something, and like he said something about like not missing the opportunities. Like he's trying to work on like not missing opportunities, and we just started talking about like all the coincidences that happen, and it's like they're not coincidences. Like God is trying to get you to get someone's attention, and I was like, that's crazy. And I had mentioned this, and to me, I was like, this is not me who said this. It's definitely God. But it's like, how cool is it to be a part of the process of like God telling you to tell someone else, hey, God wants you. Hey, like God's trying to talk to you. Like God, like I've seen you 6 times this week. This is not a coincidence. He had just saw one of the Campus Life kids, Seth, at work last week, and then Seth texted me yesterday, and then we're talking about Seth in the. I would not even brought that up if he wouldn't have mentioned it. And then Seth asked to do a worship night on a Friday night. So guess what? I was like, hey. Cool, I got you. Come to my house on Friday at 7:30. We're gonna have so like all these things. It's like they're connected.
It's so funny because your adaptability almost prevents you from seeing connectedness.
Yeah.
Because you're just so like, oh yeah, whatever. Oh, okay, whatever. And I'm so like, carefree. Oh, this is linked to that, and this is linked to that.
Which is something you showed me when we were first going through experiencing God. And you were showing me, like, I was like, this lady needed gas. Like, that was the thing that started everything. You're like, just watch how this flows. I'm like, I saw nothing. And until Jeff was like, oh yeah, like this is like when God was doing this, and then God's doing this in your life. I'm like, oh, really? How do you see that? And then the one thing I'll never forget, and then I don't know why it's so profound in my mind. We were doing prayer, and you connected all the songs together.
Oh yeah.
I was like, wait, what the heck is this? And that was like when I like saw that, I was like, oh my God. And then when you just read that, it brought everything back to my memory. And I was like, oh yeah, Jeff is definitely connected.
This is where my brain just naturally connects. It's stupid. Sometimes like that does not connect. And I'm like, yes, it does. Look, if you see with the thing and you turn it sideways. So Maximizer, this one, like,
oh yeah,
really, because I feel a lot of guilt with this one. Before I knew I was like this.
Oh,
so let me explain. So people who are especially talented in Maximizer thing focus on strengths as a way to stimulate personal and group excellence. They seek to transform something strong into something superb. So I'm about to confess my sins right now. So I coached basketball. I still coach basketball, not as heavy as I used to. But as a basketball coach, bro, if you were trash, I was like, nothing to do with you. You had to be of a certain level for me to be interested. Mm-hmm. Like, there was a time towards the end of this is kind of what motivated me to stop coaching for a while. I was coaching this like 5th and 6th grade team combined for AAU for like summer travel stuff. And my team was not good at all. And I was so disinterested. I did those kids such a disservice. Like, we'd be in games like down by 20, 30. I'd just be standing there. I'd just be like,
do whatever you want.
I wouldn't call timeout. I was just like, I don't care. You guys suck. Like, there's no point. What am I going to say in the timeout? All right, listen. They're better than you. So, like,
you are so rude, dog.
But it's because I'm a maximizer. I can only work with
the best
things that I see are like at least good. Mm-hmm. So like, you give me a team of like pretty good players, I can get a lot out of them.
Yeah,
I can put you in the right spots. I can say you're good at this, you're good at this, and like I was able to take a pretty good team and like make them a lot better than they normally would have been. Right? That's because I'm a maximizer. Unfortunately, I do the same thing as a teacher. But I've been able to recognize it, so like I'm not as bad. But like, you can't read. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, bro. You can't read. Like, did she teach you how to read? I can't. I ain't got time for that. You better learn.
I'm a history teacher.
You better learn how to read.
Go to your English teacher and ask her how to do this.
If you're already a pretty good student, I can take you and make you better.
Yeah.
But if you're just kind of like really far at the bottom, like and I know teachers who are like. There's a lady at our Discovery Center, in fact. She was like, I can teach anyone how to read. And she worked with special ed kids. Oh, wow. And I'm like, that is a gift. Yeah. I do not have it.
That's a restorer.
Yeah. I think that's one of her things. I am not that.
If you ain't got it,
if you ain't got it, you ain't got it.
Yeah.
I can't give it to you.
That's wild.
It's so crazy.
That is so crazy.
And then, let's see. So Harmony was one I didn't know I had. Huh. But it's like, I don't actually like conflict.
Like, I could, heck yeah.
I thought I did.
Bro, really?
Like, I'm really good at arguing.
You will eat food that you don't like and you won't send it back.
Very true. Yes, that is so true. I want everybody to get along.
Yeah.
And so if there's an argument, I'll try to like, I remember when we were talking about, with Patient and everybody, it was like right at the beginning of the whole BLM thing was going on, and we started arguing about like and all that stuff, and I was like, no, look, what he's saying is this, bro, and what you're saying is this. You guys are saying the same thing.
It was like, Jeff, you better figure it out.
But like, my harmony came out in that moment. I was like, I really am like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. You don't.
Yeah, but I hate conflict, which just sucks in my marriage. Sometimes I'm like, you need to have this tough conversation. I'm like, but I don't want to make her mad.
Yeah, I think that I'm sure that I have that. I didn't.
Yeah,
but
you get 34. Only top 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I was like, I guess I could just look at them. But then I was like, if I look at all of them, it's a wrap.
This one I knew. This is me. I'm surprised it was number 1. Input. People who are especially on input theme have a craving to know more. Often they like to collect and archive all kinds of information.
For no apparent reason.
You don't think there's an apparent reason. It is a reason. And it even says it in here, like, people will say there's no point, but you're like, no, there is. A point. So I might need this one day, this little fact of information. But like, nothing. I am obsessed with learning stuff. And this is where I get my teacher from. It says I'm an educator, and it talks about how you want to tell people new theories, and you want to draw your students into discuss. Like, you don't just want your students to know like random facts to pass the test. Yeah, it literally says that you want them to like act, and I don't even give tests in my class. I don't give quizzes. I'm like, look,
if you know the material, you're gonna know the material.
First of all, we write essays because you can't cheat on an essay. You can cheat on a test all day, but like that's gonna show me you actually know what we've been talking about and like the deeper like meaning of everything, not just like memorizing facts. So, like,
right, or just Googling stuff.
Yeah, like input. I'm like, that is definitely me, and I think that was it. Oh no, context. What is this one? Oh, just thinking about the past and history. So I'm like, that's definitely me. I love that. My wife is a futurist. So she like only thinks, trust me, talk to her for about 5 minutes. You'll see. She only thinks about tomorrow.
I wish I had her results.
I mean, I have them. They're in this binder. But I'm not.
But she literally told us, don't
share
do
my
mine.
results. Yeah. But she is a futurist. She as a context, we clash so much on that because I don't want to think about tomorrow. Yeah. Like, I just want to think about what's already happened in the past and like, that was really cool. I can learn from that. She's like, so what are we going to do in like 3 years? I'm like, 3 years? I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. But she's always thinking about tomorrow, the next day, the next week, the next month, the next 10 years. She has her whole life planned out. So she's like a future thinker, which is like annoying sometimes, but it's really helpful. I can see how it's helpful in a church context,
even in a marriage context.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Bro, if you're not thinking about
we would be screwed. If it was up to me, we would be still sitting in an apartment or something. I don't even know.
No, facts. I truly do.
She was like, "We need the house." I'm
yeah,
because
like, you're a person that's like, if nothing's wrong, why fix it?
There's a roof. It's got doors on it,
and people pay to get stuff fixed. This is
locked. Nobody's gonna hurt us. It's wonderful.
You would literally stay in an apartment your whole life.
Nah, I would leave the house eventually.
But I don't think you wouldn't find the need.
I wouldn't have thought that it was possible. But like because she's like, no, I can think about how it's possible and like all the steps and make it all work. Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. Oh, we can do this. Oh, okay. I wouldn't have got a new car if it wasn't for her.
Oh wow.
Because she was like,
and that was spontaneous too.
Dude, I was so freaked out. She was like,
job.
No, let's go. We're gonna go to the dealership. I was like,
but wasn't that was pre-Discovery Center though? Wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Oh yeah,
that was in April.
Well, you were working on what you didn't even know you had to work on,
bro. Like, we go there and she's like, "Yeah, you can do this," and I was like, "Today?"
It's so crazy. Yeah, it's so crazy. Man. So we're gonna take a break, guys, and then we'll come back and continue to talk about this wonderful Discovery Center stuff. Yeah, man.
Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, this is a commercial for Preacher's Hour.
Gotta pay the bills.
Yeah, our Patreon, guys. So we talked about it a little bit in some episodes, but this is the actual commercial for it. So we have a Patreon. They have a website as well as an app that you can get. And we have 2 tiers on our Patreon. If you know how Patreon works, if you watch other YouTubers, everyone has it. My brother has one. Heck of people are using them. So we have a donation tier, which is $3 a month. You don't get any extra perks. You're literally just helping us out. We just would love it.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it.
And then we have a $5 a month tier. And that one, you would get access to our YouTube lives that we will do. So we're going to start doing, we did an Instagram live before. We're going to start doing YouTube lives. And they'll only be for our $5 a month Patreons. And they'll be able to do like live Q&As with us. And it'll just be really interactive. So if you don't want to miss out on that, hit on our Patreon real quick. The link will be in the description of our episodes. It's patreon.com/preachershour. If you need more information, hit us up on Instagram.
Yeah, help us out.
Yeah, man. All right, back to your regularly scheduled program. And we are back.
We're here.
It's a very long, fantastic break that we just had.
Well, for us.
For you guys, it's not very long. So I'm trying to figure out like where to go from here because I really like this thing. Mm-hmm. I'm not even sure how to
explain it,
like how people will see it. I don't know. You can like put a picture of this in the video
on the YouTube. Yeah, that's a good idea.
But it is the 4 domains of leadership.
Yeah. These are really important.
Like I feel like you need people, at least one person in each category, to be part of your leadership of your church, of your gathering.
And let me just put this out there. Not just that. I think this is deeper. I think it's even like it could be if you're playing in church, all that kind of stuff. But even just in your life,
you need
like people. you need friends, which would be just a great idea.
Yeah, you need
just send your friends through all of like, hey guys, I know this is gonna cost money, but like in order for us to like grow, this would be a good idea to do.
Yeah, I think even if people don't go through a full discovery center, like I think you should definitely take the 3 personality tests.
Yeah.
If you can afford them and all that stuff and get the code and all that stuff. Because, yeah, man, I think you need to have a well-rounded group of believers around you.
And then, so for me, it's like, after hearing what you have just said about your strengths, I'm just like, dang, okay, cool. Like Jeff is in my life and he has these things that I don't have.
Yeah.
Like
Vice
I need
versa.
to, so I need to lean on Jeff to teach me like organization and teach me things about like, caring about things being correct and being accurate and being precise. Because I literally don't care at this point. But having someone on my squad that can help me do that, I feel like I can get a lot more work done.
I think it's like, it's not just, okay, I want to teach you these things so that then you can go and do them in your individual life. Mm-hmm. I don't think God has called us to that to an extent.
Right.
We are called to like love one another, bear one another's burdens, like literally be a family. So I think I was talking to John about this this past week.
Oh, okay.
About how I was just listening to the Bible Project not too long ago, and the main issue in Paul's day when he was writing his letters was that people were too communal, where they did not think about themselves on an individual level.
Oh, right.
They only thought about themselves as part of the bigger group.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
And so he was addressing those things in a lot of his letters. Our problem is the opposite in our day. We are too individualistic. And so we need to get people to be more communal.
Yeah.
And so like, that's why a lot of people love some of the stuff in the letters. Like, oh yeah, okay, that's me. I can do it for me and I'm good with me. And it's like, no, like there's a lot that he talks about in there. It's like you are not responsible for just you.
Yeah.
You are your brother's keeper.
Yes.
Cain. Like you have to care about the needs of others.
All y'all Cain.
So like I cannot just leave it up to you and expect you to just like get my strengths. Okay, you got it? You good? All right, cool. Good luck.
Right.
Then go take care of your life. Like, no, like you need to have people in your life, and we all need to on a continual level, like just continually until we get to heaven.
Right.
Like help each other in our areas of growth.
No doubt.
Like if you struggle with organizing or like with like when it comes to your finances or whatever, I should always be like, obviously I want to expect some growth.
Right.
But I'm not gonna be like, all right, you're good. I'm out.
Exactly.
You got it. Like I'm gonna constantly like stay in there and like help you with this because I know it's not your thing. Mm-hmm. And like you can help me be more spontaneous and be more adaptable.
And get to know your neighbors.
Yeah. And like talk to other humans. Like, you mean that person I don't know? Yes. Go talk to them.
Yeah. I mean, because what Pastor Carl said on our last episode, on our last episode of season 2, and he had mentioned the only reason that we exist is to evangelize, is to tell people about Jesus.
Yes.
If you don't know your strengths and weaknesses, it's going to be difficult for you to evangelize, like because you're not sure what you're strong at, and then you're not sure what you're weak at, and then you can go and try to wing it,
like force it.
Yeah, like force it. But like the problem with that is the person you're talking to knows you're forcing it. So then they're like, you're
it's
a weirdo.
Not gonna come off.
I'm not trying to.
Needs to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So in moments where, and this is thing I think will be really great for church planters, leaders, just friends in general, is that you would take someone who is good at one thing, watch them do it. Because this is something like I say teach and I say train a lot, but that's not really what I mean. I just mean watch, like, because I'm around you, I get to see how you, not really how you do finances, but like I can see how you're organized. I can see how you are very meticulous and like the way you see things. And even I would never do a podcast. And I never listened to podcasts if it wasn't for Jeff Copeland. Now, with that being said, I have learned so much from podcasts. Yeah. Like the Bible Project podcast is way better than the videos. I got to just I have to agree with that. I have to agree with that. But it was only because I had someone like Jeff in my life. My wife and I are the exact same on all of these tests. She is never going to point me to a podcast. She is never going to point me to like a type of like growth thing. Everything that we do is something. It's through emotion, and it's through spontaneity. And I'm like, okay, if that's where we shine, and we only look at those, we will be very handicapped in our evangelism.
But I think everybody's like that.
Yeah.
Like unless it's one of your strengths, like my wife is very like not content with where she's at. Like she needs to constantly be improving, constantly growing. Me, because I'm a maximizer, like you think you're the best? I'm good at this. I'm gonna keep doing this. What I'm good at. I'm not gonna try to worry about what I'm not good at. What's the point? It literally says that in one of my descriptions. I'm like, exactly. What is the point? I'm not good at that, so I'm not gonna worry about it. And they even told me at the Discovery Center, like, you need to because there's a fear in me of like trying to do things that I know I'm not good at. Because like I already struggle a lot with feeling like I'm enough, like I'm adequate, or that like I'm capable of doing certain things.
Like arrogant. I mean, not like the evil is the word, but like just in the general.
Think it actually manifests itself that way. I can come off as really arrogant, but it's purely from a place of insecurity.
Wow.
Because I'm always thinking that I'm not good enough, or I'm not smart enough, or I'm not like just whatever. And so I'm always trying to prove to myself that I am. And so I will only focus on what I'm good at, so I can keep looking like good. Look how great I'm great at this.
Oh,
this is what
wow.
And so I learned that at Discovery Center. And it's just like, I get it from my upbringing. And like my parents were always, I was always comparing myself to my brother, number one. He was just immensely talented at everything he does. He's just anything he touches, oh, I'm good at this too. Who would have thought? And so I'm like, I'm not him. And so I need to like constantly try to prove that I am. My parents were never like mean or anything like that. But it was just like, come on, like you can do better. And it's like, but what if I can't? I remember, dude, I'll never forget. I've never admitted this to a lot of people. I'm about to admit to the whole
I'm about to say anybody. I never told this to anybody.
In third grade, I had the opportunity to be moved to GATE classes. To be in gifted and talented education. Like a bunch of my other friends were in there. And I purposely did not, I don't know if my parents know this. I purposely did not give the letter to my parents. Because they could give it to your parents and they can decide they want to put you in GATE. And I did not give it to them.
Wow.
On purpose. And my teacher was so mad at me. She just kept reminding me, hey, I need that letter by Friday. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah. And I was just like, and so the deadline passed.
You ain't getting that.
And she was like, I'm really disappointed that you didn't get that letter. She knew what I did.
All right.
And I was like, oh, yeah, they were just busy. And I made up something.
First of all, teachers are like,
yeah.
You're in the fourth.
You're third grade. You're not going to get anything.
You don't know what busy
is. Boy. But I literally was like, at third grade, I thought, like, what if in here, I'm towards the top. If I go there, I'm going to be at the bottom.
Wow.
I don't want that.
That's got to be how like NFL or like high school to college and then college to NFL, because like, and I don't know why I give that reference, but maybe somebody needed it. You're like, man, I am fantastic at this.
At this level.
If I go to the next level, everybody was
fantastic where they're coming from. Yeah.
So it was like, dang, it just gets harder and harder. which is crazy because like it gets harder and harder. But like if you go through it, you get stronger and stronger.
Yeah, not my thing. Getting stronger and stronger. But like I've been able to learn through my wife. My wife is, God really gave me her because she's always like, you need to get better. You cannot just be satisfied with just being the same.
Can't be moping.
And like, yeah, she was just like, you just had to get that in there.
I had to throw that in.
She's just always like, you can't be satisfied with just staying the same. You need to focus on progress. My role in her life is to be like, hey, you've actually improved. You're actually good at some stuff. Like, you don't have to beat yourself up all the time. And so we balance each other out a lot. But I've just learned that, like, God is like, Jeff, you're right. You're not enough. You need me.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that you thought you could be enough is the reason why you're always going to, like, be insecure. And so I'm still learning. I'm still fighting. I fight insecurity every day. If y'all see me, and especially if I sound like I know what I'm talking about, that dude is stupid. Like...
And it's always funny because like I see that, I always see like you're the person to go to get the answer, and like even when you don't know, the way you say you don't know means like, dang, but he would know. I always like kind of like marvel at the fact that even in your I don't know, you still give something. It's like,
bro, that's pure insecurity. My wife hates it. She's like, why can't you just say you don't know? Because in my mind, I can't not know.
Right.
So I need to come up with something that at least sounds. And in my own mind, this makes sense.
Yeah.
This seems like it'd be logical to answer what I just came up with on top of my head. It has no evidence to back it up. It sounds good. So.
Oh my God.
It's complete.
That is so you, dog.
It's complete. And the best thing is I teach 8th graders. They think I know everything. Because I be making up like 75%. I'd be like, okay, let me see. They asked me a question. Well, this was, wow. You know everything. I'm like, keep thinking that.
That is so you, man. But I think one thing I've gleaned from even this conversation is with my communication part of my specialty is, or my strength is even listening to you. That's one thing I don't do well. I don't listen. I do not listen well. I love, and you know this, I love the sound of my voice in my headphones. Like, I love it.
Facts.
When we came back from the break, I was like, oh, I've missed you. Missed who? My voice. But one thing I've been practicing with you is actually listening. I did it with Josiah on the way over here as well.
Active listening.
Like active listening, because I suck at it.
Yeah, me too.
And when I get an opportunity to do so, I'm like, okay, don't reply until like there's which is funny. JD told me this. He's like, you know that like in a conversation like there's like a brief pause and then the next person starts talking. He's like, you don't let any brief pauses. Like, I will talk. The next person will come in, they'll talk. And then like before they can actually take that full breath, I'm going to get in there.
Bam. So anyway.
And it's crazy because like my wife and I, we don't ever finish our complete thought. And which is weird because we've gotten used to it. So now we don't even know how. So we'll be talking to each other. And if she doesn't interject, I'll just keep going and going and going. Or she'll just keep going and be like, dang, we never got to the bottom of this thing, or we never finished it, or I never got your full thought. It's because we jump in on conversations.
That is very true.
So I'm learning to, take the brief pause and then let that be the passing of the baton for the conversation. So,
man, look at that. Look how much growth you made, bro. That's incredible.
And it's great because you wouldn't even know if I didn't go through this, I wouldn't even know that I did that. Like, and I tell my wife, I'm like, babe, you always cut people off, which she does.
Yes. This is true.
If you meet my wife, she's going to cut you off. But she means it all in love. But I know that she does it. I didn't know how much I did it. And like when JD looked at me and was like, yep, you just did, not JD. Who was that? It was David or something. I can't remember his last name. But he was like, you just did it again. It's like, did I? I didn't even. What? He was like, I didn't even finish the breath, and I did it on purpose because he like took like a longer breath. And it was at lunch. You know when they're at lunch and they talk, and it was just like, oh my gosh. But I love the fact that he was teaching me that even like this is right after we did this part. And I'm like, this is great. Like, thank you so much for being not just kind, but being honest. Yeah. It's like, if I don't get this, I would never know what to say. I wouldn't know how to grow in this area. So this is a thing that I'm learning. I think you have to be told the truth about who you are, like strengths and weaknesses. A lot of people will just want to hear their strength. And I was like, oh, cool. Like when they gave you the little paper, they start with all the strength. I'm like, oh man, look at all these.
I did not want to turn the page.
Not at all.
I was like, stay right here. I am good at this.
We don't got to turn the page. What's the point? Like, I'm good at so many things. Why do you want to? And we turned the page. And it was only 4 things that like they wanted me to prove on. But boy.
They stick with you though.
Oh, you just like.
If it was one on there, I'd be like, oh my God.
Every day I'm just like.
I'm a failure.
Goodness gracious. Don't cut people off. Clarify your statements. And
you have yours?
I do.
I want to end on that.
I do have these.
I want to end on that.
Ungodly things.
Because I got mine right here. But I wanted to actually just real briefly talk about these 4 areas of leadership. So there's executing, influencing, relationship building, and strategic thinking. Okay. You need all 4 of them to do anything in a church or anything for that matter.
Yeah. Corporation.
Yeah. So what they do is they list all the strengths from StrengthsFinder, and you basically just find your top 5 among these. And so,
man, it'd be great to just have one in each column.
That's Jesus or something. He has all of them. But so for me, I had I had 2 of them in strategic thinking. I had 1 in relationship building. No, 2 in relationship building, which is surprising.
Hey, let's go.
So that's 4 right there. What's my last one? Oh, and I have 1 in influencing. I have nothing in executing. I do not execute, and that is so true.
Wait, let me see it.
I don't execute nothing. If you want something done, don't call me, because it's not getting done.
Yeah, I don't have nothing in. Yeah.
That's why we have Patient, because he has like a bunch in that one.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Patient Taylor. And Will, too. Will would definitely.
Man, definitely.
He would probably be all in there.
He's a Marine. He's just like.
All we do is execute. in both senses of the word.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Okay. So, all mine are in. Are all mine in relationship building except for 1?
You had. I think you had like 4 in relationship building. You had adaptability, includer, positivity.
Yep. Communication.
That one is in influencing.
Hey, let's go.
Yeah. So you had 3 in relationship building.
And
1
developer.
Let's see. So developer, includer, positivity. That's relationship building. And then you had
adaptability.
I got that one.
Oh.
You keep messing me up, man. Okay. Adaptability. You had developer. You had includer and positive. Yeah, you had 4 in relationship building. Good Lord. And then what's your 5th one?
Is it the communication?
Yeah. So you have 1 in influencing. So you're 1 influencing and 4 in relationship. Like Brandon is the king of making relationships. This man knows everybody. And if he don't know you, he will. If you don't know, now you know. Like, I mean, we were in my neighborhood, and he's just getting to know heck of people. I'm like, I don't even know this lady.
Bro, I told you I had a dream about us literally having a potluck dinner in your street.
You gonna run it, because you the relationship builder out here.
I was like, what are we doing here? I was like, Jeff, get... there was a pot that was that needed to be brought out. I can't remember what was in it. And I was like, Jeff, get the pot. I don't know why I remember that part specifically. It's like, oh,
that's ridiculous, man.
Okay, so
yeah, we can end on
these are on our strengths.
Oh, we can go to strengths first. That'll make me feel better.
Yeah, because it's gonna be tough. So my strengths. Does your strength after it says strength, the paragraph, does it say the same?
It says the following are areas of strengths and spiritual gifts observed by the staff during the discovery process. These are areas which stand out as positively contributing to your ministry style. A heightened awareness of these strengths and how they benefit your overall ministry will help enhance your effectiveness. You may utilize these gifts to compensate and grow in areas needing improvement.
Yo. All right. So, Brandon, it says Your heart for God is encouraging.
I have that one too.
Oh, let's go. People enjoy hanging out with you.
I didn't get that one. They don't like hanging out with me.
You have an enthusiastic relationship style. Your choices demonstrate a high level of integrity.
Nice.
Lifestyle evangelism is a priority and reflected in your life. You have a servant leadership style.
You definitely do.
They told me that like not a lot of people can be okay with being in the background and being in the spotlight at the same time.
Yeah, you could do that.
I was like, really? I thought everybody can do that, but I guess not. So you seek a challenge. You seek a challenge and to make a difference. You convey to those around you your strong faith in God. You are willing to be accountable to God and others. You understand the role of grace in discipleship, and it is obvious that you are not a spotlight seeker. This makes you a great, genuine leader.
Facts. I agree with all of that, man. So mine are: your heart for God is encouraging. You're authentic and open about your relationship with God. You consider carefully before you respond. You see how God works through the circumstances of life. You see how history impacts current events. Because it does. You are loyal, compassionate, coachable, and open to learn.
I don't know about that coachable part, but
man, it depends on who's coaching me. You bring harmony to those whom you minister. You anticipate God's leading for something new. Your commitment to seek God's direction in ministry is admirable. You eagerly desire to know God's word. You submit to and support your leaders. We admire your ability to use your teaching and coaching positions to minister to students. And then your teaching gift is a strength.
Oh, wow, that's fantastic. All right, guys, that's been the Preacher Hour podcast. Man.
Areas of growth, not weaknesses, guys.
Mine are bad.
Come on, man.
They are.
They can't be that bad.
They are bad.
You have the paragraph up top?
I do.
Read that much.
The following areas where the Discovery Center believes you can grow to more fully enhance your relational and ministerial skills. These are areas where demonstrated by an analysis of data from your written assessment instruments, the interviews, and the observation of your performance in the stimulated scenarios and other interactive experiences. These areas are called to your attention for your consideration in making positive adjustments to your ministry style, which is crazy. You don't have to go to that stupid scenario.
Oh, man.
Oh, when I talk about stress.
Yo, did you have to do the one where they're like, someone comes to you who you've been talking to for a while, and they say, I have no more questions. Like, how do I lead me to Jesus or whatever?
Yeah.
You do a little, take them through the sinner's prayer and all that.
I didn't do the sinner's prayer, which I thought was great. Like, because I don't really believe in the sinner's prayer.
Yeah, I didn't do that either. And the guy was like, I don't remember what he told me, but he was like, yeah, you didn't do that well. It's like, thanks.
Yeah, I had this guy named David. He was super cool, but he was like, I would continue to walk with you after this because you made it like a relational thing rather than just like check mark box. And it's like, oh, well, that's how I do it for most people. So my areas of growth are, God, mine are really bad.
Come on, bro.
Gain more experience in church planting. And it's like,
it's all of us.
Yeah, facts. This was a hard one. Develop boundaries that will protect your family in the midst of ministry. So it's like, and the thing is, like, my heart is to plant a house church. It's gonna be very difficult to have a house church.
Yeah,
and
boundaries.
Boundaries. So I was like, dang, that's gonna be a tough one. And then this one gonna get him right here. Be more disciplined in your study of biblical and theology and doctrine. And I was like, I don't need all that. Talking to the hood, they don't need no theology and doctrine.
They do, though.
They just need, you're a sinner. Come to Jesus. Amen.
I think not to get too far onto this, but I think we overcomplicate what we mean by theology. Because I think, like, theology is just your understanding of how to live as a Christian, like how to live out the Bible.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Like,
that was like your idea of God.
I mean, that's the same thing. Like what you believe about God determines how you're gonna live, how you act, right? So like sense. Bad theology is one of the worst things ever.
Because then you live in a way that you think God is cool.
Okay, there's this movie on Netflix called The Devil All the Time.
I almost watched that last night.
Recommend it. We only got through half of it. It was just so much like evil. I don't even know what the point of the movie is.
What?
Because it's the cast is great, the acting is really good, but it's just so dark. It's just the darkest thing you will ever see. Like people killing people and so anyway, one of the parts in the movie, the main character's dad, his wife, like the mom, she like gets cancer. And so he's like, come on, we got to go pray. And so he takes his son out to like the woods where this little cross set up. And he's like, you got to pray like you mean it. You want her to die? And they're just like, God, like yelling, God, save my wife. Don't kill her. God, if you don't do it right, she's going to kill her. Like their theology is so off. Oh my God. She dies. So the dad is basically just like, well, what the heck, God? Like I prayed to you. I prayed to you like loud and like with a lot of enthusiasm, and you didn't save her. Like, what the heck? Dang. And so he kills himself. So the kid becomes an orphan in like one day. No. He's like 9. And then his understanding of God is like way off because he's just like, well, what the heck? Like, so my point is, bad theology
could lead to suicide.
And then there's this other guy. He's
also, there's multiple stories.
Yeah, and they says they're all gonna converge, but we didn't get. We only got, it was 2 hours. We got through 1 hour. Like, we got to stop. It was just too dark. It was just disgusting. Oh my! But this one guy, he's like a pastor, and he's like he gets this girl. The main guy's like stepsister essentially, and he's like, so have you ever like revealed yourself, your full self to the Lord? And she's like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah. She's like, you mean like my birthday suit? He's like, yeah, like how God made you. Like you ever revealed your full self to him? And he basically like manipulates her into like
taking all the clothes off
in front of him. Bruh. And like it cuts away. You don't know what happened, but it's just like that's really bad theology right here.
Oh my God.
Like, so my point is,
theology
the
matters.
Way you understand, you don't have to get into all of the technical seminary type of but people's understanding their theology is very important.
Wow, that is huge.
Okay. So hood people need theology too. Everybody needs theology. It's just like it doesn't have to be this whole formal thing that we're talking about, but you got to have a good solid understanding of the Bible and God.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And this is nothing like people being manipulated by pastors is a regular theology, because you haven't read your Bible. You don't know who God is, and you don't know what he's called you to do as specifically, or what he's called like the community, the body of Christ to do as well. So thank you.
Wow. Is that all of your weaknesses?
That was deep. The last one was like, it says suggestion. It says resolve issue of ministry roles for women in your context.
Well, that's good. So mine were develop a personal habit of intentionally sharing your faith. Very difficult. Still working on it.
That's a tough one.
Develop an enthusiasm for reaching lost people. Well, think about it. Because I'm a maximizer.
Oh, you only care about the people
you ain't saved?
Which is
you gotta get that figured out. Then I can talk to you about all kind of other stuff.
The crazy thing is that like AV, before we turned into TG, was that like if you didn't have like a strong relationship with Jesus, it was like, well, I mean, you can keep coming,
you
but
can show up, but
you're not getting into this. On your own. Which is our circle is like Patient's probably a maximizer.
I would be very surprised if he wasn't. Yeah,
I think he is,
because it was funny. It keeps bringing up side stories. Anyway, so John preached at Flipside to the high school kids, and he had this whole like elaborate sermon like planned, and he got about probably a third of the way through, and he like realized that God like basically helped him like realize like he needed to focus on this one point, and it was the rest of the sermon was amazing. He was preaching. But I told him, I'm like, dude, our problem is that we only hang out with preachers. And so we are constantly like, oh, did you see this? Did you see that? Oh, like, of course, all of our brains
like our
are
Bible
like,
study today.
Yeah. I mean, we're so much like way up here in the stratosphere with the Bible and stuff. And like, we haven't even gotten to the ground floor. These kids are on the ground floor. Like, let's just.
Because even the stuff that we were saying in the Bible study today, I'm like, and I don't even know, probably for this very moment, I was like, if we didn't know, because I don't know where we were, I just know the story. So I was kind of like, everything we were saying, I was like, okay, I'm piecing this together, and then someone would read a scripture, but I was like, I don't know which gospel we're in. And I'm like, if we didn't know the Bible well, this conversation would not be happening. Like, we wouldn't be talking about like, what do you see? I mean, I guess in a sense, but it's not the same. The way we talk about it.
Because we have so much other stuff that's informing what we're saying. Yeah, man.
I mean, way outside of those scriptures that we were just like.
So I'm still learning how to reach lost people where they're at, because I struggle to relate to where you're at because of like my input. I have all this knowledge in here. I'm like, it's hard for me to relate to people who don't have all this random information that I have. Makes sense. So I'm still learning how to do that. Be careful not to overcommit. This one was big.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I do not see you as an overcommitter.
I mean, I was literally in YFC and I was working at Flipside. Like, and I teach and I'm married. Like, I mean, it was literally to the point where like Monday nights I had to leave the Campus Life Center early to go be at Flipside.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
This is weird because I'm an adapter, so like that's what my whole
life.
life.
Yeah, so you'll be all right.
I work at YFC. I work at On Ramps. I work at TG. I started doing video work for my church, and I run a photography business.
Yeah, that's your.
They didn't tell me that though.
No, you got it. Plan to regularly spend time together as a couple. So I need to be better at that.
Dang, this call just need to be a better husband.
Yeah, you're trash. What you doing? So, and then the last one was clarify and personalize your philosophy of ministry with more specificity. I'm not totally, because I didn't even know really what a philosophy of ministry was.
I didn't know it either.
I had to ask Pastor Carl about it, and he gave me an answer. I don't remember it.
I literally, when I asked Mary Beth, I was like, so what am I doing?
What is this? Yeah. And everybody was talking about, like, it was like just this known thing.
Just the word philosophy sometimes throws me off. It's like, that's a big word. Like
I got to clarify and personalize it with more specificity. I got to figure that out. So, did they give you any books to read?
They did, which is funny because right before this, they gave me this. They're like, or not right before, but like the last counseling session we did. They were like, "Hey, what's the best way for you to learn?" And I was like, "Not reading." It's like the best way. And then they're like, "All right, cool." Come back 10 minutes later. Here's some books we want you to read.
They're like, "We don't care."
So I have to read 9 things you should simplify. 9 things you must simply do by Henry Cloud, and then Deep and Wide by Andy Stanley.
I've heard of that.
Courageous Leadership by Billy Hybels, and devote more time to developing your preaching skills and develop your plan or vision of the church at a size that is sustainable for itself.
Okay.
Because I told them I want a church that can give money away and that I don't really need to be paid. And they're like, "You're crazy." It's like, yeah, the church needs to learn to be self-sufficient, because whatever you can do, if you ever leave, that doesn't say someone is going to come in and be the same type of servant you are.
Right.
So like, that's the church needs to know how to pay somebody to do the work of an evangelist.
Yeah. One of my recommendations was clarify your call to a ministry of leading from the second chair or starting a new ministry. Because I had shared with them, like, I don't see myself as like a lead pastor. I think I could be a great associate minister. And they're like, okay, like you need to like really like dig into that and like figure out if that's true. So I'm still working on that. I still think that's where I'm at, but I'm growing more and more comfortable with the idea of like
being
my own guy. I'm still not super cool with it, but I'm getting there.
It's after seeing Pastor Carl, you're just like,
I can't do all that.
I can't, but I love the fact that you can have all this like command in you.
Yeah, I'm supposed to read 8 to 15 by Tom Mercer. Read Preaching by Tim Keller, which I am, and I love that book.
Oh, yeah.
It is dope. Read Communicating for a Change by Andy Stanley. And then read Boundaries by Henry Cloud. So like similar authors.
How do they find all these books? I thought they were going to give everybody the same 6 books.
There's a lot of books out there. Go to Barnes & Noble, go to the Christian section.
I was like, man.
I'm in the wrong business. All I got to do is write a book. Sell it. I'll be all right. Yeah, but anyway, guys. Man. That was our experience from the Discovery Center. I know that not everybody has that resource. Mm-hmm. I would try to like look into it. Like check out Excel Leadership Network. Like look them up. Google them. I think every single Christian, like, especially if you feel like you want to be a church planner or you feel called to preach, like,
or to lead in. I think just to lead in any
ministry area. Yeah, you should really look into this and just getting to know yourself and getting to know the people around you that you're serving with. I think is essential. Yeah, it's not a suggestion. Like you need
to because the danger is if you don't, you could be wasting a lot of time doing what God never told you to do because someone else told you, oh, I see this gift in you, you should do this. But like that's just because they said it doesn't mean that God said it.
Yeah, man.
Don't get Nathan down here.
All right, family. So thanks for tuning in, and we will see you guys on the next one.
All right, fam. Peace.